Hey guys, before we start the review, I want to make a slight correction. So when giving the synopsis, I called the main character Callie. I made a mistake. Her name is Harper Hart, and her twin sister's name is Callie. So the synopsis of the show, it's basically mostly the same. It's just if you change kind of the names from for Callie, to Harper, it kind of fits. It basically Harper was or the podcast really. So Harper is went to this center to uh help her after her sister's Callie's death. That's basically like the way it's supposed to be. So the synopsis is mainly correct, but the name is not Callie, it's Harper. Anyway, back to the review. So I typically do not review podcasts in this channel, but I have decided to make an exception and will probably make a few exceptions depending on the podcasts I watch. So I do not remember mentioning this in the channel, but I will mention it now. Sorry, I was grabbing my Brado. I don't need it for synopsis, but I do need it for the rest of the reviews I need to make for books. Anyway, I will mention it now. I'm pretty sure I have not mentioned it in the channel, so I'll mention it now. I am into podcasts and I do love them. They're really, really interesting. They're you can get, the informational podcasts like the true crime ones I watch or love watching, or you can get something like See You in Your Nightmares, which is one of the fictional podcasts, which kind of work they kind of work like TV shows. Basically, they would work kind of like TV shows. The only difference is that they're audio. They're just in audio, so you don't get to kind of see anything. And it works for me since, either way, I am blind and I am not able to see. So watching a show like See You in Your Nightmares, where where it's just an audio show, no description is technically necessary, it works for me. It works for me specifically because there's nothing I need to see. So these are good. It's good. Podcasts are cool. Oh. And why is my phone being evil? Sorry, Aylin. No. Sorry. So yeah, they work for me because I don't have to worry about any visuals or anything like that. So for anyone who has not watched a podcast, I would say try one and see if you like them. So See You in Your Nightmares is a fictional podcast. It is horror, at least that is the classification. I got... Oh my god, stop. Okay, sorry guys. The genre I got was horror for it. And basically, we follow this character named Callie, who goes to this center in order to kind of help her because she's been dealing with these nightmares about her sister's death and she just keeps reliving it. And this is an experimental program and it could be life-changing. There are a couple of sci-fi elements, I should say. But when she is connected to the AI Blossom, she ends up being able to influence the dreams of the other patients in this facility. And now the only way to kind of help them is for her to conquer her demons and, be able to help you be able to stop this. But there is more in the Ludwig Center, which is where she's at, than meets the eye. So this is the synopsis, the best synopsis I can give you. It was really good. I got this recommendation from a friend. And I was like, yeah, sure, Seeing Your Nightmare sounds cool. So I decided, I followed it, and I was like, I started watching it, and I got, I think, to like the third episode the first time, and I was like, or the second episode the first time, and I was like, yeah, I'll continue watching it. I really liked it. So I did end up, guys, I was really into the podcast to a point where, when was it? 2 weeks ago? Maybe 2 weeks ago by the time I'm recording. Granted, I'm still in 2022, so for you guys it's gonna be like months, but for me it was maybe like 2 weeks ago. I stayed up on a Saturday night something I never do all the time, but I stayed up till 2 in the morning just so I can finish. By the way, if you are watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, I'm sorry, headphones are recommended because so that the audio works best, because it is 3D audio and you can fully be immersed in the nightmares and all the very fun stuff. So the writing of this show was pretty good, and so was the pacing. It was good. I think the characters in the 12 episodes I got to watch, which is why I think this is only season 1, were very well developed. They were very well established. And we have a really interesting cast of characters. We have a hacker. We have let me see. Yeah, we have a hacker. We have we have what's her name? We have we have we have Callie, who is able to basically jump from one dream to the next. We have a bunch of different people. It's very interesting to see the kind of people we are going to be following in this uh uh so that's like the one thing that we got interesting characters, we got interesting writing, and the story develops in a way that feels very natural. So we have the developing like to be really slow, really it's a very slow development. It doesn't, and it's not a fast-paced horror story. But what we do have is a really easy what we do have is a really interesting story with interesting characters, and we have an interesting premise. The other thing I really enjoyed about this definitely has to do with the audio. The production for this feels like really, really well done. It was, it kept me hooked, and definitely, it definitely had it definitely had me really interested in what was happening, and the way that it was produced made it easier for me to, I guess, like watch in a weird way. Like I know yeah, it was really easy for me to watch in a way. It was kind of a thing. I feel like I the production system made it so that I could definitely watch it. Like it was easy, and the sound was good. The sound was great. Like it when watching it through headphones, or when listening to it through headphones. I'm sorry, I keep saying watching, but when listening to this podcast through headphones, you really, really do get immersed in the audio. It's very easy to like get immersed in it. Again, I stayed up till 2 a.m. and I loved it. The story itself was told in such a way that I was just like, yes, I didn't need to see it. I needed the audio, and I love it. I love it so much. It was amazing. Other things I think I really enjoyed, or I know I actually super enjoyed, were definitely the relationships. I think the friendships were done really well, and it showed like the pitfalls. I'm sorry, not to mention the the way that, due to the way that things are happening, how easy it is to distrust people. I think that really did a good job showing that for me. Um, I also enjoyed the romance that the little romance that was there. There was a little bit of romance there, and I'm like, oh, it's so adorable. It ended so tragically. I'm not going to explain how, but there was a bit of an of a uh, it ended in such a tragic way, but it was kind of adorable. It was adorable in a way. I love how it kind of worked, and how it turned out. I felt so bad. I felt so bad when the way it ended. I was really sad, and I was like, would it have to end like this? But in a way, I understand it did need to happen. I feel like it needed to happen, and I kind of appreciate it. And the romance made more sense to me than something like the Gracier, mainly because I think the Gracier's romance definitely could have worked out a little bit more if it was added, if it was given more, but it definitely worked as like a lust thing, like you really wanted to do things like that. But here it kind of worked because they've already known each other for a while, and in every scene they had really good chemistry in every scene that they had together. This season, I'm gonna call it a season. I'm pretty sure there might be another season, and I don't know. I haven't seen any of seasons, but the thing is that this ends with the possibility of a second season. It definitely ends with like with another season. So I'm gonna put season 1 because I don't know if there's going to be another season. This kind of came out last year. I don't know how long it would take to produce such a such a like to give us the same expectation. I don't know how much it would take to produce, but overall it has my love, and I am here reviewing it to recommend it to you guys. I don't have recommendations for this, by the way, so I will not be making recommendations for after this podcast. Honestly, there are certain books I haven't made recommendations for, and I know that, but there are books I just don't have anything with it. Um, so yeah, uh that's what I kind of think about this podcast. I definitely recommend it to anyone who might be wanting to listen to a new podcast, and for anyone who's like not necessarily. Oh, and why is my burn note shutting down? I did not shut it down. Has randomly shut down. Okay. So I would definitely recommend it for anybody who is looking for a new podcast and who likes horror, or any new listeners as well, if you want to go into a fictional podcast and have like a horror recommendation. It was great. It was great. And fun fact, I watched this during the month of October in 2022. So it is Halloween. It was perfect to watch during this time. I love how I watched it in October, and you are getting it in June of 2023, which is basically summer. At least that is the planned schedule. You'll be getting it then. I love it. But hey, it's a good podcast. It's very good. I really hope there's a season 2, and I will be probably back with other podcast reviews if they're fictional podcasts. This one specifically is really good for binging. This is great binge worthy material. Like I can. Okay, is my Bruno touch dying? I'm sorry, you guys. This is really good binge watching material. This definitely felt like watching something on Netflix for me, where I was just like binge watching the series. It definitely had that feel to it. So yeah, so that's my review. I don't think I was as informative as I may have been for books, but hey, here we are. So next week, oh wow, my brother literally died. It didn't let me know. Okay. So next week I will be reviewing Baby Teeth by I think it's Zoj Stage, or because it's I don't know if it's Zoe Stage. I really don't know because it's spelled Zoje. Honestly, I don't remember how the narrator pronounced it. I'll be honest and say I don't remember. So I'll be back with that review. And yeah. Anyway, I'll see you soon in my next video. Until then, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I post as frequently as I can. And usually I post, if I can, if I am able to, and if my personal / college life doesn't get in the way, I do like to post at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like to kind of post really early because that way everybody kind of, when they wake up, they have something to see. So it is up at 5 a.m. I will say I consider this a lot like a podcast because I feel like I'm working in it like a podcast. It's fun. But anyway, I post this. I post every week at definitely on Sunday. You will get my reviews on Sundays at 5 a.m. and then other videos other times throughout the week. I also post. Usually my schedule is Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I do sometimes also post bonus videos, usually on Saturdays, but I'll have things like wrap ups every month and so on and so forth. You can also subscribe to my blog, which will be linked in the description along with other playlists. And until my next video, consume stories. Bye!